Welcome to Beach Park District 3's Beyond the Bell, the podcast where we connect with the amazing human beings in our district and hear their stories, which make our culture unique. I am Gabe Capozzo, the Director of Human Resources, and today is obviously a very special episode. Again, back-to-back HR in the CARs. So today, C.A.R standing for Culture, Appreciation, and Recognition. Today, we have a very special guest. She represents the intersection of not only a community member, also a parent, also a Board of Education member. She's been in the Beach Park District since 2003 with her husband and her 3 young children, which we are blessed to have, attending our schools. She attended Illinois State University. Go Redbirds. One of the many Redbirds we have had on this show. As you can see, she's sitting with me. Why would I try to tell her story when she could tell her own story? Without further ado, let me welcome Mrs. Kellie Ropers.
Thank you.
Kellie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So do you prefer Mrs. Ropers or Kellie?
Oh, Kellie.
Kellie, okay.
100%.
So we go back a little bit. In fact, you very well might be the very first parent I ever met one-on-one, because when I was a principal at Kenneth Murphy, we had a bus accident.
Yep. Yes, we had a
Your
bus
daughter
accident.
was in kindergarten.
And the only child on the bus.
And the only child on the bus. So
Yes.
it was like the first week of school, I feel like. And I get a call as my first year as a principal, and it's like, hey, there's a bus accident. It's happening? A bus accident's happening? No way, it's impossible. What do I do? So I rush to the scene of the accident. And I check on the bus. I'm thinking all these kids are there. It is just your daughter. And she's in the front seat. And I walk up and hear a car had rear-ended the bus as the bus was turning into school. And you showed up, and I was like, I can't believe that this is happening today.
You called me. I was driving to work and you called me. And I remember thinking, I was on the phone for work and I looked at my caller ID and I'm like, why is the principal at my kid's school calling? I'm like, this cannot be good. I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And I do grab the call. Thankfully, one of the things you did during kindergarten orientation was to hand out your cell phone number.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't even know why I'm saving this. I'm never going to need it.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then I knew you were calling me
Yes.
instead of some random phone number. Yes, I remember that day very clearly.
In one of the pieces of kindergarten inauguration, all the parents are there. I said, your kids will be safe here with me.
Yes.
So I said, I'm going to make sure that your children are safe. The number one priority. A week into it, there's a bus accident. So totally out of my control. You were so kind to me. You were just like, under all those odd, extenuating circumstances, you were super level-headed and just like, hey, so what's happening here? We kind of walked through it, and Catherine gets off like, I didn't even realize we got into it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't even realize we got into it. So what's happening? Am I going to school still? Yeah, you're gonna go to school. But as a principal, like, you get worried because you don't know how your parents are going to react. So that was my introduction to you.
Oh, thank you.
You were so kind to me.
Oh, good.
And I was scared. As your principal, I was scared.
Imagine having to make that call to
Yeah.
a parent.
Yeah. You don't know what calls you're going to make until you make them. So anyway, all right. Every time we do an interview in HR in the car, I offer to buy a treat, a special drink, or maybe a snack. Is there someplace you like to go and
Good old fashioned McDonald's Coke.
McDonald's Coke?
Yeah.
All right.
My
McDonald's
guilty
Coke.
pleasure.
You're the first person to go to a McDonald's
Oh, really?
with me.
I don't eat there.
I love it.
I just
Oh,
the good old fashioned original Coke.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
awesome. So let's get into it. We're only like a minute away from McDonald's, but how about you just give us your background? Tell our audience about where are you from? What's been your journey? How'd you end up in Beach Park? What are you
Sure.
doing right now?
So in 2003, I married my high school sweetheart.
Oh,
And he was at the time going through EMT school at College Lake County. And he met some guys that were on the fire department up here in Beach Park. And they were hiring volunteer firefighters. And we had gotten married and had been looking at houses and looking at places to move to. And I, at the time, was working for Walsh Construction downtown Chicago, all over the suburbs for projects. My project location changed every year or so. I needed to be close to the highway. He got hired at Beach Park Fire as a volunteer firefighter, and we found and bought a townhouse in the Cambridge community over on Green Bay and Wadsworth, and moved up here November of 2003 after we got married, and been here since. we were together a long time before we had kids, which everybody was like, why are you waiting so long? They forgot the first half of our relationship, we were in high school.
So it's good.
Yes.
It's good.
So, Catherine was born in 2014, and then the twins, Nick and Josie, surprised us in 2015, and probably the best surprise we've had. And Jeff was the first full-time hire at Beach Park Fire Department back in the day, and he was there for a handful of years, and then transitioned to a department on the south side of the city. And so we still needed to be close to the highway, and we just stuck around. We thought we were going to be here 5 years, and 23 years later, we're still here.
That's remarkable.
So, yeah.
And so the board, how did the board come about?
The board came about because I'm mouthy.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to find that out.
We got involved. So obviously when Catherine was born and then started kindergarten, we started paying more attention to the school district. And we always, I attended a handful of board meetings prior to that, usually the tax levy meeting, because that's what everybody's worried about, taxes.
Yeah.
And we were struggling as a district with leadership in the past. I don't think that's a secret for anyone. And I started attending board meetings then. When the teachers reached out to some of the parents and said, hey, we need some support.
Yeah.
And they did. They needed support.
Yeah.
And so I started attending board meetings then, and I spoke at one of them and said, we may be here now complaining, and we may be showing a big force now because our teachers need it, but we're not going away.
Yeah. Yes. I remember you saying this, actually.
Do you?
Yes, I do remember you saying this. Well, you were one of my parents.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm an administrator. The other lens is I'm an administrator in the board meetings. You're there, and I'm thinking, okay, this is one of my parents.
What's she going to say?
What's she going to say?
Yeah,
what's she going to say? How's this going to go?
So we did. I specifically remember standing up there speaking out in support of our teachers and hoping to hold the board accountable, hoping to hold the administration accountable. And so I remember saying that. I remember saying, we're not going away.
Yeah.
We're going to be here long term to support our teachers. And then shortly after that, a notice came out that there had been a resignation. They were looking to appoint someone and looking for applications. And so I applied.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Here you are today.
In June of 23, they appointed me, and then I ran for re-election in April of 25.
Yeah.
So, and I hope to be here long term.
You will be. So you have 3 children currently attending 2 schools, right? Yep. But you've been to how many different schools? Is it?
We've been at 3 now. Okay. Yes.
So,
Catherine started at Kenneth Murphy.
Yep.
And she went kindergarten through 5th there. Now she's at the middle school, just finishing up 6th grade. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yes.
It's insane. And then Nick and Josie started at KM and were there for kindergarten through 3rd. And then the district rolled out their gifted program, dedicated classrooms, which we are grateful for.
Yeah.
So that transition was a little rough. They were convinced they were not going to Newport, but it has been amazing for them. And they're finally, I feel like, settling in and enjoying it. And it's been fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Do your children hit you up as a board member to convey their feelings about things like, Mom, you're in the board. When you go to the meeting today,
can you talk about this?
Yeah.
Honestly, Mr. Capozzo, it's mostly, did you see Mr. Capozzo?
Oh, really?
Did you say hi to him?
Yeah.
Yes. And I saw, and I'll rattle off whatever teachers have been at our board meetings and things like that. They do ask about what's going on. And we as parents, my husband and I are very much kid appropriate discussions. We don't lie to our kids.
Yeah.
But I don't always give them all the nitty gritty if they don't need it. But we'll say things like they know that we're working on union negotiations.
Yeah, right.
I mean, let's talk about it casually.
Yeah.
I had a meeting for this. It went well today.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. Because it's fun. Because I see teachers that they have now or had in the past. So it's a lot of fun for them. You guys are all like superstars.
Yeah. Well, if the audience doesn't know this, I was fortunate enough to be the principal with Mrs. Ropers' children for a few years. So I have a connection with them, and that's what's great. And I have a great connection with you when we get to spend time with you. And I just got to tell you, as a principal, you always gave me a fair shake.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that goes a really long way when you're trying to navigate difficult circumstances, not I mean, my most difficult circumstance was your daughter was in a bus accident with your children, but your kids are just great. So if anyone's wondering like why Mr. Caposa, well, I really enjoyed spending time with you and your kids, so that's awesome.
Thank you.
Is there a favorite like school memory or event that the kids came home from that made you feel like that's why we're here?
I don't.
Anything that stood out?
I would just like one of the things that for me that stands out,
Yeah.
and it's the staff.
Yeah.
We have some of the best teachers. I really believe this. And I'm not just saying this because I was lucky to have like one or two all-stars. We've had all of our teachers that we've had close interactions with, and not even close interactions with, but like the teachers that we've had interactions with for my students, for my personal kids, have just been all-stars. I mean, really, they have. We've not had anybody that I'm like, no, we don't have that in this district.
Yeah. Well, our kids have a very unique way of always telling the truth.
Yes.
That's the beauty of children. They're always just going to let you know. Is there advice they give you as a board member? Like, Mom, here's what's going well. Here's what's not going well. Do you like in these conversations that you do some endearing conversations you have at home?
I want to know if I can change food. I'm like,
change the food?
Change the food. The food's fine.
Well, that's what they ask the principal too. Like that's okay. That's a conversation at home with the kids when there's a board member too. Like, Mom, anything you can do about the lunch?
Yeah. They're just funny about it, and it's not like the food is like they like the food, they eat the food. It's just that they want their favorites all the time.
Yeah.
Can we have pizza every day?
You can
have pizza every day.
I just wanted to ask you, like, what is the go-to the quick pizza? Yeah, it was always like the cheese sticks. The kid just
the Bosco sticks. Oh yes, Josie would pick those every day.
Cheese sticks. Yeah, pizza and then chicken nuggets. Like those are like the go-to.
The latest on the menu that they're super always excited about is either the cheesy beef nachos or the beef taco bites.
We've got a different vendor now. Like I think a much better vendor.
Yes.
So the kids are really actually getting treated quite well when it comes to food. I just really think it's great that that's the same conversation every kid has with an adult. It always comes down to like, lunch. Lunch could always be better here. And there is no like right answer. You're not wrong about like there's only so much we can do, guys, about the food. It's so cute, man.
I forget something else too recently, and I'm like, I have no control over that.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Do you find it difficult as a board member to kind of balance being a parent and putting on your parent hat and working with the situations with your kids as they navigate school and then removing it and really separating being a mom to a board member?
Like, are you talking about like with my own personal kids or like when I attend school
your
events?
personal children?
My personal children?
Yeah, like
I don't have trouble with it. I have great kids, and I'm not trying to brag.
Right.
I mean, I have well-behaved, rule-following.
Yeah. But if you have issues at a building and maybe you see something like, are you talking to an administrator, you're having a conversation, is it easy to just navigate? I'm a parent here.
It is because, again, remember I said I was multi?
Yeah.
It is.
This is a loaded question because I'd really like to know.
Because I'm bold and I'm going to say, listen, here I'm speaking to you as a parent. Now I'm going to speak to you as a board member. I always try and lead the conversation that way because I don't want to think there's influence either way. Just because I'm a board member doesn't mean my kids should have.
That was going to be
treatment.
That was going to be my next question. I don't think you would think that, but do you worry that people will treat your kids differently because
I do a little, but it is what it is, and that's their journey and their decision, right? Like I do what I can to navigate that and make sure that we're not expecting special treatment. My kids work hard, they follow the rules, they do what they're told because I make sure they do, right? And not because they shouldn't get extra.
Well, I'm the first person to know as an administrator of your children that you hold them accountable for their behavior. I do know that. And you are an involved parent. And it's nice to have you on the show because they get to talk with you as a parent and a board member, but I also got to live quite a few years with you in that world. You became a board member after I was out of my principalship.
Yes.
So it was just the Ropers. And there was no influence. And I certainly wouldn't treat your children any differently. And I would like to think no one else would. But I know we had Mrs. Gulwitzer on here, and she was kind of holding off for the board. Totally different environment at the district, right?
Right.
Held off until her kids were out because she thought, well, maybe they will treat my kids differently.
Well,
But you haven't seen
I haven't seen it. No,
Yeah.
I mean, no, we haven't seen anything like that, and we just run the straight and narrow, I guess.
how do you talked about staff,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. We have great staff.
Yeah. What's so great about them? Like, is it the dedication, the care, is it communication? Like, if anyone's listening as a parent, you're a board member, like
All the things.
all the things.
We've been predominantly in elementary schools, right? We've only been at KM in Newport, and we just had 1 year under our belt at the middle school.
Right.
And the just sheer dedication to the students and
Yeah.
to doing right by the kids
Yeah.
has been it just blew me away. Um, they're all just so focused on making sure they're meeting the needs of the whole kid. And
Yeah.
that's hard.
Yeah.
You have 15, 18, 20 kids, 22 kids. We've got some bigger classrooms with 24. It's difficult to make sure you're doing that.
Right.
And we have staff that are meeting those kids at all levels. Nick struggled early on with some reading stuff, and he had an amazing kindergarten teacher who went above and beyond. He had first grade and second grade, we had Nick and Josie, right? Third grade, no, second and third grade, we had them in separate classrooms. But he had teachers that were willing to do and above. Our first grade teacher, shout out Miss Schroeder, she set us up with a summer reading program
Yeah.
on her own accord. Like, I didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
I said, I asked her, I said, what can we do to help him?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, here's a stack of books that you should work through. And you should work through this order. And this is how you do it. And like, without her, Nick wouldn't have been reading where he was when he went into second grade.
Yeah.
So she really went above and beyond. And then in second grade, Miss Donkey did all the extra stuff in the classroom. I mean, we have been so lucky with the staff that go above and beyond.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to shout out to all their teachers. And I should say all the names. No, because we've had fantastic teachers. Or Miss Sanders, who's now left us, to Miss Donkey, Miss Shorter, Miss Gedville, all of them. Mount is amazing.
Yeah.
They're just, we've had such great, and at the middle school, we're seeing the same thing.
Yeah. And you're thinking about the twins right now are over at Newport.
With Mr. Shore.
Yeah. And how's that going?
Amazing. And to make that transition has been phenomenal, because they were
different school, different administrator, different teacher,
all
different
the
kids, all the things.
Right.
Super disruptive, actually, right?
Right. Longer bus route, like all the things that we have to make new friends. And I'm like, you're going to transition to middle school anyways. And they're like, no. But that would have been at the end of fifth grade.
Yeah.
It would have been, that would have happened at time appropriate, or in eighth grade in their minds.
Yeah.
We've had fantastic, just great. Mr. Shore's been wonderful. Dr. Garris and Catherine's transition to the middle school with being in the band and getting the added support from that band provides a different level of support for kids, right? Like a different outlet. Miss Metzger over there and Miss Cranmer, all the Miss Cranmers. We have two different. We have a close interaction with both of them, and they're fantastic.
Let me ask you this: transitioning from having students in fifth grade, the middle school is a big moment for kids in our district. We're a K-8 elementary district. Our kids end up going from the middle school to the high school, but in our district, our orbit of education, that fifth grade transition to sixth grade is big. What were your concerns as a parent in that transition?
My biggest concern was an overall bigger school.
Yeah.
So just having to navigate that changing schedule, right? K through 5, you're in basically the same classroom all day long. I mean, yes, you need for specials and library and things like that, but she, was going to have to go from one classroom to the next and haul it all the way down to band. So on the Meet the Teacher night, we watched her schedule. Yes. Jeff's timing her, and she's like, I can't walk this fast.
Because transition time is a big deal.
Yes.
It is.
Yes. And just like, the complexities of having harder content too, right? Like it's a big transition to go from fifth grade to sixth grade. And then to be sixth grade in gifted classes too, right? So she's getting accelerated content on top of making all these transitions, and like it was It was tough.
Do you feel like she's come home and felt like she was supported in the transition, or like has communication at the middle school from a parent's lens been good when been the concerns?
I have struggled with communication at the middle school.
Yeah.
So it's just and when I asked about early on stuff, I was met with, well, they're in 6th grade now. They have to learn to communicate with you and be responsible. Okay, fine, but they don't drive and they don't control their own schedule, even though they're in
Yes.
6th grade.
Okay.
For instance, nothing was sent home about Spirit Week this week.
Yeah.
Catherine came home and told me a handful of things and I have a responsible kid, right?
Yes.
So she came home and said, it's a jam day and anything but a backpack day and this and that. I said, okay. And she's like, but I don't remember the rest of the week. Okay. So then I'm like,
Yeah.
the night before, then trying to prep and stuff. So it's just, then they posted it on Facebook on Monday at the end of the day. I'm like, okay, well, this is,
They're step behind.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
that's been a struggle for us.
But is it fair to say that it's been a balance of like administration is trying to support the independence of these students as they're transitioning and getting older? Also, I think that your concern is one that's legitimate. I think it should be an honest concern because that's an area of growth. Right.
It is. Yeah.
And there's been conversations about this. So it's good to hear that, hey, here's an area of growth.
Yeah.
Well, there's all the great things, right? There's still been great things.
Yeah, there's great things.
You just mentioned a bunch of great things, right? You mentioned band, the rigor, and the transition has been good.
Yes.
There's this communication piece, but if you sat on the superintendent advisory committee, if you sat on the district-wide school improvement committee, the feedback historically has always been more communication.
Yes, and we've done a lot for that. Dr. Wilcox has done a lot for communication across the district.
Yeah.
She's implemented regular newsletters to the community, to the parents, to the staff. She's implemented a lot of different things on the communication level. We've had surveys about communication. We've had surveys about other things.
Yes.
Like, I mean, the administration has done a big change. And if you asked specifically across communication across the district as a broad brush, 100% improvement. I think it's lacking at the more detailed level in the middle school.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that everyone needs to hear it. I mean, the show is about you and I spending time together to get your experience from all different facets. And it can't always be great news, right?
Right.
You know, and
right.
you get to sit in a position where you can share that. I appreciate that.
Oh,
I mean, it's good to be vulnerable and to share the things where we can grow. And it would be, I think, the wrong move to shelter the audience, right?
Okay.
From some truths. So
my,
so far so good. So what would be a piece of advice that you'd share with a new parent who's sending their very first child to kindergarten?
Be brave. It's okay to cry.
Yeah.
I'm crying in construction, but man, I bawled like a baby on that first day. Not when the twins went,
No,
but when Catherine went, I was a wreck.
It's a big day. Like that's why I always give my cell phone to every parent as a principal. And there's not an administrator in this district that would tell me that's not crazy. Don't give yourself.
It is crazy.
Of course I give it out because I cried my kindergarten going to, school. So just being empathetic and putting yourself in people's shoes and being that person, you're sitting with 30 or 60 people dropping off their child for the very first time at school.
Yes.
And it's like, this is school.
Yeah.
And there's so many milestones. And
all the things.
Yeah, the least I could do as an administrator would be like, number one, your child will be safe here. Number two, here's my cell phone. You can call me. It's the same phone number my wife has when I'm not home. But, I can take the garbage out. Like, it's the same one my mother has. Like, why don't you call me? So, parents are.
Just be brave. It really was a lot. I joke that I cried like a baby. And I did cry like a baby. Catherine would. But because it's nerve-wracking to send your kid into school, right? She had been to preschool. So she was pretty comfortable with it all.
Yeah.
She didn't cry.
Well, it's a mix of tears.
Yeah.
Because the parents are crying and the kids, a lot of them are crying.
Yes, they were.
I mean, the hands out. Totally. Like, what's happening?
But we were met with genuine care for our kids like that. And now we offer a kindergarten boot camp
Yep.
thing, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
we didn't have that when Catherine went or
Correct.
when the twins went.
Yep.
But that first day parent meeting where they had us come in with the kids on the first day, that helped a lot.
Mhm.
So you get a chance, besides meet the teacher night, you still get a chance to interact with the teachers again, just kind of hear the whole thing, sitting there with your kid, kind of that helped a lot.
Yeah, I think that's good exposure for our parents. Like
Yes.
we do sit down before they go. It's not just walk and drop your kid off.
Right.
It is a sit down meeting, meet the teachers,
Yes.
talk about what the day is going to look like. We transition easily into a half day, right?
Right,
It's like
right.
a half day slow release into like
Right.
what's school going to end up looking like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's nice to reminisce about that,
I know.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, like that's
Seems like so long.
it does. I know you got a sixth grader. Like it's wild. They're going into seventh grade in a week here.
Yep.
School's coming up. It's shocking. Time just will not slow down.
No,
It won't do it.
it won't.
So, what makes Beach Park an incredible place for you and your family to live outside of like the school district? What do you like about the community?
I like I like a lot of things about the community.
Yeah.
I like the general smallness of it, like the physical smallness of our town.
Yeah.
I like that we're not in this big budding, giant mini Chicago suburb kind of
Right.
place,
Yeah.
but also that we're physically, halfway between Chicago and Milwaukee. We have all the things we could need within an hour,
Yeah.
from medical care to, 3 different Menards we can hit.
I like to know what your store options are. I like that. Menards. From a
Don't
construction.
come on lumberyard bus.
Yeah,
Go to
from a
Menards.
construction blends.
Something else I buy at work.
That's what we're gonna edit out. We're gonna edit that out.
Yeah.
Good.
Don't tell my boss. So I like that aspect of it. I like that there's, and even like within the Beach Park, Waukegan, Zion area, there is all the things
Yeah.
too, right? It's not just like we don't have to go to Gurney, we don't have to go to Compton. Like there's a lot of stuff here locally.
Yeah.
We got some great food up here. We got some great restaurant options.
List them. Like, give me your 3 top restaurants.
Oh my gosh. Well, Big Ed's.
Yeah. Okay.
You eat the Big
No,
Ed's?
I've never heard.
Oh my gosh. This is a barbecue joint. He's not in Waukegan. He's
Okay.
out of Beach Park, but
Okay.
he's the best.
Okay.
He's super good human too. So that's fun. We're driving by one of our favorites right now, CJ's.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that I do know.
Dude, donuts to top the world. Because snacks and donuts are
They are
lovers.
the best. They're the best donuts I've ever had.
Yeah.
They are the best.
And here's one of my other favorites, El Lago for Mexican.
Okay.
So
Not eating here.
I have not eaten there in years, but that's where we used to go. I used to go all the time before I had kids, because now we don't go anywhere because we have kids and it's too expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive.
All
right.
But yeah, we've got just some great food options, some great community. We've got a great public library that does all kinds of fantastic stuff. We spend a lot of time at the library.
Yeah.
My crowd loved going there. So, yeah.
Park District.
Park
In
District.
the summer, like
It is.
you have like we're on the lake.
Yep.
Right. So do you take advantage of Illinois State Beach, or do you guys go to the lake at all?
Beach people.
No. Okay. It's beautiful down there.
We're lake people, but we are not beach
Yeah.
people. So, and we are very outdoorsy. So, like a lot of our forest reserves, we capitalize on hiking and biking, and we do kayaking. Our crew are just getting big enough to think about kayaks on Lake Michigan. Jeff and I have done it years and years ago,
Yeah.
but it's a beast.
Lake Michigan is
So
it's like an ocean.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. We're close though.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
close to taking them out there.
Really?
And yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Do you kayak on like the Displains or like
We have
local
in the
lakes?
past.
The kids go?
The kids go with us. When we travel, we take our kayaks.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have not taken them on the river yet. The river gets tough because the water level fluctuates so much, and so sometimes you're too shallow.
It does.
Carry your
Yes.
kayak. They're not. I don't want to have to carry kayaks.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm a princess.
Okay. Oh, you okay? All right. That's definitely staying.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
that
cute.
happens on the rivers.
Yeah.
So
No, it does. Yeah.
um,
That's so cute.
yeah, so
I
we
love it.
don't we don't take the kids on the river.
I love it. So as far as community goes, how's living in your neighborhood and serving in the school district as a resident and a taxpayer work out for you? Do people ever run into you and say, "Oh, I know you're a board member"?
I have had that happen
Yeah.
mostly at school events.
School events.
And that's fine. It's great. Honestly, I like it. I want to hear from the community
Yeah.
and what you think and do. And so when we have to go when to be on the ballot, you have to get so many signatures on a petition
Right.
to be on the ballot. So it gives you a good opportunity to talk to the community. I love it. Like, if you see me out, feel free to say hi and
Yeah.
tell me what your concerns
She's a great
are.
person to chat with. She'll have plenty to say.
But yeah, I do want to hear. I want to hear, because how else can I serve the community if I don't know what the concerns are?
So if we have anyone listening to the show from outside the community, they're moving in to Beach Park, what would you say about the character of our community? Like, what's the vibe or the feel of Beach Park as a resident?
For me, it feels very hometown.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
Like small town feel, like running into people, or just like quiet, it's not bustling.
No, it's not bustling, but it's also not miles between homes either, right? Like, we're still close. So, um, I think it's a great community. I think it's changed a lot in the 23 years that we've lived here.
Yeah.
But that's good though. I think it's been good, positive change.
Yeah. I years ago we started the Coalition for Healthy Communities, and it was really the tri community because we're Beach Park, but we're right between Zion, Waukegan. But Zion, Waukegan, and Winthrop Harbor really get wrapped together when it comes to like being in school districts. And I found that there's a lot of integration in the community and collaboration. And I think Dr. Wilcox actually has done a really great job of doing these collaborative joint board meetings.
The joint board meetings, the joint back to school bash has been fantastic. For me, like, coming on the board, like, I knew there were other districts. I knew we fed into the high school, that we were just a K-8 district. But to be involved at the board level with that has been really eye-opening, and to see how the other boards function, and to get to, meet those people, and we sit and do workshops together. And I think our superintendents across those districts have really done a nice job of bringing everybody together and prep for attending high school.
That's an interesting perspective. So you do work with the other school boards. What's it like? Like working with other board members? What's the conversations like? Are you guys, are our districts collectively working towards the same objectives, would you say?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I think we work hard to, raise the next generation of, community members, right? We're working hard to impact them and think about what your focus is going to be locally. Or maybe you're going to leave Beach Park and go be big somewhere else, and it's going to be, hey, my roots started here, and this is where I came from, to highlight where, the foundation that we're providing for them.
Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit. What was the driving force behind you raising your hand and just saying, I want to be on the board, I want to support this district, and this is what I hope to accomplish by being a board member?
So I applied and I got interviewed, and in my interview, it was one of the very last questions. And I had shared my professional background. I've shared my volunteer experience. I shared all the things that would help me to, give time. It worked out that I was in the process of transitioning out of a full-time construction career. So I took a year off to spend time with my family. It coincided with me starting at the board. It worked out great. I could step in and help more at the elementary or at the early childhood center. But in my interview, the last question Steve Lindsay asked was, so what do you want your legacy to be?
Love it.
When you leave the school board in however many years, what do you want your legacy to be? And I looked at him and I thought about it for a hot minute, and I said that I did right by the kids. And that was it. That was all I said. And he just like stared at me.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's it? I said, that's it. Like, that's what we're here for, is to do right by the kids. And that is many different things.
Right.
It's making sure they have a positive educational experience, but it's making sure we have good staff that are, giving positive attitudes in the classrooms, making sure that our facilities are maintained, and we've got new playground equipment here, and we've got an early childhood center now. It's making sure all of those things and helping to support that at the board level, and then still balancing listening to the community that is concerned about rising taxes and rising gas prices and all that stuff, and making sure that we're being fiscally responsible yet still meeting everyone's needs. So it all comes down to doing right by the kids, though.
It's a really heavy lift.
And you put it all in one sentence,
mean,
like they're one phrase.
That was, you clearly know what you're talking about. I mean, like, it's good for our audience to hear that. It's good for me to hear it.
Oh,
I
thanks.
couldn't repeat it. But like, you obviously have a comprehensive understanding of all the facets that do go into doing what's best for kids. And would you say that,
No seat to it.
would you say that your lens has been broadened by serving on the board?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
as a parent, you are involved, right? You're going to parent-teacher conferences. You're going to the book fair. You're going to the little concert performances that are amazing. You know,
Yes.
all the things, right? Or the band fundraiser night, raffle auction night. You know, you're doing those things, but being on the board and kind of getting to see the behind-the-scenes stuff and what goes into facilitating all of that
Yeah.
really has been, I mean, it's been great. It's really been great to
Yeah.
see it. But I feel like I can be more helpful that way. Yes, as a parent, I could volunteer and do a lot of things, providing a true support to the administration and to our staff. As a board member, I feel like I get to do a little extra for them. Does that make sense?
No, 100%.
Did that answer your question?
It did. And I kind of wonder, like, this is just me thinking out loud. It's like, how many of our parents would benefit, and maybe even the staff benefit from getting just a peek of like all the things that you've gotten to see, and what their ideology or their mentality or the thoughts about certain systems and processes be completely different because they just had no exposure or had no idea to, like, wow, this is complex. My current need as a parent or a staff member is within a certain scope, personal scope.
Right.
But we don't have the broad lens to know all the other factors that kind of go into that, which is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's wild.
So I was doing a little bit of research, and rumor has it that you've saved the distance. rumor has it that you came onto the board during the construction of early childhood, and you saved the district hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
For people who didn't pick up on it yet in the show, you went to ISU. You have a bachelor's in construction.
Yep.
Okay. And so you have this background. What was the transition from getting into Beach Park, and then how'd you become part of the early childhood building? And then what kind of things were happening where it was like, we can save a ton of money here?
Yeah.
Because I think it's something that you should be proud of.
Oh, thank you.
Our community should definitely be proud of having a board member who can walk in and save that kind of money. But how did it happen?
So I got appointed to the board in June of 23. As I said, I left my full-time construction career in the fall of 23.
Okay.
I had worked at the time for 23 years in the construction industry across the Chicago, the Milwaukee markets. I've done all kinds of commercial construction. I've done casinos and hospitals and multifamily and low-income family and high-end condos and all the things. So I transitioned to being a full-time mom at the time, and for a little while. But so it gave me an opportunity to help the district. The district had contracted with 2 contractors to build the early childhood center, and there was a host of problems with the contracts, and not the district's fault, just how it was worked out between the 2 contractors. There was some holes in the scope, and we were just having some concerns managing that. And so I said, hey, I can help. Right. Yeah. So I started attending the weekly contractor meetings on site, and quickly realized that the contractor that we were dealing with was not local to Illinois. One was, but one wasn't. The municipality was trying to flex, not Beach Park, but Waukegan was trying to flex a permit fee on the whole project for the water service. The way the laws are in Illinois is public school districts don't have to obtain permits from the local municipalities. They're governed by the ROE, the Regional Office of Education. And so the initial invoice came in from Waukegan and for a permit fee. And I'm like, oh, they're just charging us the whole percentage, which is how permits are done. It's a percentage of the contract value. I'm like, but we don't have to pay this. We are a school district. We are bound to the ROE. We don't have to get local municipality permits. We have to pay a connection fee. Like when we tapped into the water line, we needed to pay that connection fee. And so that's a requirement because we're touching their system, right?
Yeah.
And then just being able to know how to read construction documents and know what we're looking for. So when you stack up and add up all those things, the chunk of that money was the permit fee.
Yeah.
But there was a host of other things, and then just holding the contractors accountable on site to do their job and do it well and the quality that we expected. And so,
I mean, clearly your background, your education, and your experience simply just led to understanding the language of a build.
Yeah.
Kind of, right?
Like being a project manager for 20 plus years. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
wow.
It's wild.
But you've never done that for public education, right?
I had done a school job before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of a fun story. I was working on a job down in Westmont. I did renovated their high school and one elementary and one middle school for them.
Okay.
Which I should probably preface this with, my dad was a custom home builder. I grew up in the construction industry. The predominant portion of his career, though, was multi-million-dollar houses on the North Shore,
Sure.
Evanston, Kenilworth, and those places. Built some mansions, beautiful mansions. Very talented, my dad. My husband worked for him, also very talented. So I never thought when I went into construction, because I went to the commercial route.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd have a chance to work on a project that my dad did or work with my dad. I'm working on this job and I forget where we were going, but he was in the truck with me. And I had started on Westmont School District. We'd started demo, all this stuff. And so he was asking me how the job was going. In my entire career, my dad has come to every project I've ever done.
Really?
Yes.
I love it.
Every project. He has visited, and come and told me how I'm doing it wrong.
Okay. Well, it seems like a sense of pride, though,
Yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her. Okay.
Then I'm going to pick out something that she should have done. But so we're driving somewhere, I forget, and I got the kids in the back seat, and he says, "What job are you working on now?" And I was working for Pepper Construction at the time, and I said, "Oh, I'm renovating Westmont High School." And he goes, "Westmont?" And I said, "Yeah, Westmont. Dad's southwest suburb or west suburb, I guess." He goes, "Westmont?" He says it again, and I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, Is that the round one?" And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Yes." And it is a very unique building. It was built in the early 70s when they thought everything should be open classrooms.
Yep,
And it was
yep.
like this round
I got you.
buildings, right? With no classroom walls. And I'm like, "Yeah, how do you know about it?" He goes, "I built that." I'm like,
Oh, really?
"What?"
No.
And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I was working for Myra Ross at the time." He's like, "Go look in the front entry. I bet there's a sign." Sure enough, then I went to work 2 days later, and in the front, there's, the plaque,
Yeah.
right, that the school districts all have. And it said right on there, Myra Ross, which was the contractor he was working for at the time, the short blip of his career where he worked for a union contractor. I was like, "Oh my gosh." So I was telling the superintendent. So when they did a big grand opening thing, they're like, "Can you have your dad come?"
Really?
Yeah. And then they asked me, in front of the whole community. Here's my first interaction with a school board ever. I was standing there for the big grand opening, right? So there's a bunch of community there, a bunch of parents, a bunch of teachers, and the superintendent of the school district says, he's introducing our staff, right? This is our VP. This is our general superintendent, ran the job. And then this is Kelly. She was the project manager that oversaw everything. And Kelly, can you tell us about your connection to this school?
Oh.
And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
So then I started talking. Of course, then I started blubbering and I'm crying because, it's emotional.
Yeah.
My dad built this building and I never thought I'd work on the state project. It was really cool.
Did you tell your dad that they brought you in because you had to make his work right?
Yeah.
Did you say, "Yeah, well, they're going to finally get this right.
Yeah.
I'm here."
I'm here now.
Oh, man.
He came down and saw it when it was under construction, and then he came back for the
I love
end.
it, dude.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
I love it. So, strengths of our district. What would you say is the greatest strength of Beach Park's district?
I feel like I'm repeating myself,
know.
but I would say the staff.
Yeah, I would agree.
We've got some great staff.
I know.
At the
I know.
administration level, all the way down to
No,
every position has people that go above and beyond for our kids and for our buildings. And yeah.
How do you see our staff, administration, board continuing to work together to build a collaborative culture?
A oh my gosh, we've done so much, from implementing a strategic plan to, just showing up and um, answering the hard questions, right? Like giving the ideas. You may not always have the solution, but just providing hey, what if we tried?
Yeah.
Kind of thing
Yeah.
sometimes help, just
Yeah.
being brave to be mouthy.
Yeah. Our superintendent, Dr. Wilcox, has really done a good job of keeping the door open. I hear more courageous conversations with her, actually.
Yeah.
People have with her
Yeah.
than I have ever had, that I've ever heard with an administrator. And it's not to the detriment, because I think all information, and you mentioned it, all information is good information.
Yeah.
Like, we got to have people who have courage and vulnerability to speak their mind in order for us to recalibrate and identify problems that can be fixed, and at least do it in a place where you feel safe to do it.
Right. And I think that she fosters that mentality a lot. She being Dr. Wilcox. I mean, she hosts those coffee chats,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I
they're
attended
great.
finally was able to make my schedule work
They are
to
great.
attend one. And, just really an open conversation with parents.
Yeah.
And they're just, our
What do you think?
parents came. Yeah. What do you think? What
What's
do you
on
think
your
about
mind?
this?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
She's done a ton for our district, for the culture, for our staff, for our parents. Like, it's very clear to me her love is for our kids.
Yeah. I know it. It's a unique time.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it continue to keep going. Not that she's going anywhere.
No.
She's got a ways to go
Yeah.
till she retires, but she really is laying the groundwork of like building a collaborative and collective community. Just did these institute days. Our last institute day in January, we came back from winter break. She had all of the administrators host different topics, and then had all the staff contribute to it. And she's been going strong with continuing to host these. I think maybe it's 15 different topics. Yep. And it's all teacher voice.
Yep.
It's not administrators. She's actually intentionally left all the administrators out of it. And she's brought the teachers in. She's made the time. She's had the classroom coverage. She's had them put their days in order to make sure that they can be there and attend if they're interested. And not everybody's interested.
Right.
But from one of the things we hear from like staff surveys is like giving us voice as a staff to have input. And maybe the staff doesn't see it as much as you think they would, but I'm sure people are bringing it back to your building, and the mission is not over. This has been kind of half a year of exploration to bring in what we're going to start 26 with, but everything is teacher driven. And we've never had something that the teachers have had their hands on everything with. And how it rolls out is going to be, it's trial by fire. It's a courageous thing to do.
Great.
But it's directed, and it's coming from teachers who say, we do need this. And I think that that's been pretty great.
And I feel like she's listening. Like, I feel like she really, she's really going above and beyond to foster that open communication and that culture in our district, that it's okay to say all the things.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking of facilities, because facilities, and you did the childhood center. From a construction lens, how important is it to have solid facilities?
It starts with our facilities and our staff, right? Our teachers. But we have to have strong buildings that are healthy and, that my kids stop complaining about the drinking water at KM because it got fixed, right? Like, all those things we have to think about, and, maintaining our buildings, because they affect the livelihood and the true environment that the kids are in. Yep.
How do you prioritize a project as a board member when there's so many of them? Yeah, like there's all of them. It's like it never stops happening.
It helps to have a lot of different things. One, we've got a great architect that we work with that helps provide input on things that we may see. We have an inspection service we use that checks out things for us. We get stuff that comes on our reports from Tim, who's been an amazing asset to our district. Just being that proactive eyes in the buildings, and just making sure that we're acting on it. And then you prioritize, you look at what things are going to cost. How do we budget? Maybe things have to wait a little bit. What's the exact need? is it, oh, this parking lot's falling apart, or we can fix this floor and then it'll be okay for 5 or 10 years and we'll assess the whole project later kind of situation.
To get through.
Yeah. And we phased flooring at the middle school needed to be replaced.
Right.
And we phased that over the last handful of years. We're finishing that up this summer. So
for fiscal responsibility, then when you talk about phasing, it's just looking at an entire project, let's say it's flooring, and you say, okay, so we can budget this each year to an end
Yep.
project, to
Yep.
completion.
Yep. And so, like, specific to the floor, we did the rooftop units at the middle school not long ago. Also, we've done that in phased projects. There's various co-ops and things that we can buy product through at better rates than just hiring a contractor to do it,
Yeah.
because they do special purchase programs for the school districts. So, like, we purchased the flooring kind of that way. We purchased the RTUs, the rooftop units that way. It's just managing our funds appropriately while still maintaining our buildings,
Yeah.
right? Like, we had a couple gas leaks at Newport earlier this year. We're making some revisions and had planned to make some revisions to the concrete out there. Sidewalks and stuff needed, to be dressed up after being 50 plus years old. And so in that, we were like, hey, let's make sure we provide better support for the gas meters so this doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
So we just try and, merge things together when we can.
As a board member, you sit on different committees outside of just the board, right?
Mhm.
What committees do you sit on?
I sit on two. I sit on the LRP, long range planning.
Okay.
That committee kind of merges with some just overall facility maintenance type stuff. So we talk about long-term plans for the district, where we see buildings going, things like that. And then also the short-term stuff. What does Tim need immediate support with? Does this project warrant moving up on the list, shifting things around, kind of stuff like that. And then also I've been sitting this year on the negotiations committee as we work through our contracts.
Yeah.
For 2 are up this year and 1 is up next year.
Have you done that in any of your previous roles? Have you sat on a negotiations committee before?
Not on a union negotiation committee. I've witnessed it.
Yeah.
I've never been involved in that. Not only through the construction industry, but through my husband's firefighter union.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed being involved in it. We've had tough discussions.
Yeah.
But those tough discussions foster open communication and,
For sure,
better working environments long term.
I've actually really enjoyed the exposure of being on the other side of the table for negotiations, because it really does, being a teacher in the union and then being an administrator on the other side and having an opportunity to see it, like, it's a negotiation. You understand. Everyone at the table understands what the objective is.
Yep.
Right? It's just, there's only so much. From what I'm learning is there's only so much money. Like, there's one pot of money. It has to be divided up.
Yeah.
Because we don't make widgets. We don't make things.
Right. We can't raise sales prices.
Yeah. We can't make more. We can't sell more. We're kind of strapped in a sense of like a fixed income, for the lack of a better word for it. But it's been enjoyable sitting at the table with you as well.
I think that it's like, I like that I've gotten to do it, that as how I can help provide board presence and I can help provide a parental presence.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
I see firsthand in our schools what our teachers are up against.
Yeah.
As a board member, but as a parent,
Yeah.
really.
You're certainly a fair shake human being. When I listen to you talk and I get to sit back and watch you navigate process and systems and just the mentality, everything you've just said, you do zoom all the way out, and you compartmentalize really nicely. Just, here's all the pieces of this. Have we talked about everything, and what are the considerations? So it's been really, really beneficial. You've answered way more questions than I provided you. And I think that's the beauty of having these conversations. I would love to ask you just a couple of fun questions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Fun questions.
Cool. Fun questions. All right. If you could choose one word to describe the energy at your board meetings, what would you say? Say it is.
Focused.
Focus. Yeah.
And I would also add celebratory.
Yeah.
Dr. Wilcox has done an amazing job
Yes.
of bringing to light our staff, and we have done it on different levels, from positive descriptive praise to staff spotlight to district champion. I really have enjoyed that, and I hope the staff are enjoying it too.
I've enjoyed it so much too. It's something I've never seen in the district. We've seen variations of different things, but we haven't seen this specifically. The biggest piece of this for me, though, has really been that it's not just the people that are getting the awards coming to the board meetings for these. If you've noticed, and I'm sure you have, like, their friends, their peers,
Their family,
their
yeah.
family, their
Yep.
children.
Yes.
Like, they're bringing
It's so cool.
everyone to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's go back a year. A year ago at a board meeting, it was the board and the administration,
Yes.
and usually union representation. So union
Yes.
presidents would come, right?
Yep.
Now it's a full room.
Yeah. When
And
we start out, yes, it is. And it's fantastic. And I would encourage everybody in the community, whether you have kids or not,
Yes.
to come.
I know.
Like, and the staff too, like, we're nice people.
You as in the board are nice people?
Yes.
You are nice people. You are nice people. I know.
We do. We want to hear from the community on what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are, the board are very, very nice people. And it doesn't change being a teacher or being an administrator. The Board of Education is the Board of Education, and they regulate the administration. They're the bosses of all the bosses. And I get to sit and do this with a board member, which is super awesome. And I think that since we're on this topic, something that's really important, and this is wisdom. This is wisdom, and we're going to get to some advice from you, maybe some of the best advice you've ever heard. You never know who your next boss is going to be.
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that the standard mode of operation is always to just treat people kindly. Because I would have never thought 5, 6, 7 years ago with you
That we'd be sitting here.
like
Me
ever,
either.
right?
I didn't think that either.
From our first interaction at a bus accident with your daughter, right? To now we're in the car together doing this podcast. It's like, it's just shocking. So, and I go back to just like, thank you for always just giving me the benefit of the doubt as a human being, as your administrator, and treating me fairly and equitably. And you definitely treat everyone exactly the same.
Oh, I try hard.
And you've navigated quite a bit of different personalities. I know you do try hard. All right. What's your energy boost for the day?
Coke.
Is it Coke?
No.
Coke?
I have a water or coffee in the morning, and that's it. I drink water all the
It gets you through coffee?
But
Okay.
yeah, one cup.
Okay.
One cup.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Background in construction. This is a personal question. Is a carpenter's home ever really built?
No. It's not.
All right, so if you get into the context of that question, it's like a mechanic's car is never fixed. A carpenter's home was never really built. It's just like your profession. You never quite finish the job, but you're great at doing it for somebody else.
100%.
Yeah, it's top-notch
Give me
work.
those keys, and it looks great.
Oh my God, dude. I love it. What was your favorite subject when you were in college?
My favorite subject? I mean, my construction classes.
Was it your father that got you into construction?
Yes.
Is it?
Mhm.
Yeah, it just drove you. Like, what did you see?
I watched him do, right? He ran his own business.
Yeah.
And so, like, I watched him do that. We had a friend that was going to college for construction management at the time, when I was making my decision. And I remember I came home and I went to the career fair at school, and I went with my friend whose dad was a plumber.
Yeah.
And we walked around the career fair, and I'm like, where are the trades? Like,
Yeah.
no one's here. This is all, executive level stuff. Like, the closest thing they had was a custom cabinet maker. And I'm like, but where's the carpenters? Where's the plumbers? Where's the, HVAC guys? Where is everybody? And so I came home and I said, Dad, I've decided what I wanted to do. My whole life, my dad always said, my parents, you can do anything you want to do, as long as it can be had at an in-state school. No, I'm kidding. They said,
Good for him.
you can do anything you want. So I came home. I'm like, Dad, I know what I'm going to do. And he's like, okay. I said, I'm going to go to school for construction management. He goes, Kellie, I told you could do anything. It's like, why would you pick this stressful career?
Yeah.
I'm like, because it's not represented, Dad. We need to represent all the trades, all the things, all the stuff. And so, so to the greatest advice I've gotten is you can do anything.
Yeah.
Right. Like, Dad and Mom both were always like, anything you want, you can do it.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Like it is true. And it can be it really can be anything.
Mhm.
You can't, it doesn't happen for free. Being able to do anything takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Hard work, dedication, commitment. But life has proven that, if you put your mind to it, there are channels and avenues that are built to get there.
Yep.
Yeah. That's great. All right. So 3 kids in school. What's your favorite spirit day?
Oh, good night.
Are they all in?
Oh.
Are they all in parents?
It's just
What's your most difficult spirit day, and what's your favorite one?
the most difficult is probably when they try to coordinate with other kids, like squad day,
Yeah.
twin day.
Yep.
Like that is probably like the most difficult because then you're calling all the parents. Who's got this? Who's got that? Do you have these pants? What about this shirt? What about these? Like that is probably the one of the most difficult ones.
That's behind the curtain. I never would have thought parents were doing that.
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
Oh my God, what a burden!
The week before Christmas or the week before everybody's graduating.
Right, it's happening now.
What was this other?
The best one.
The best one?
Yeah, the best.
Oh, I don't know. The one that the kids can figure out on their own.
Yeah, I love it. That's an honest answer right there. I'll tell you what it was, but the worst one was like during the winter when we had winter break and it was like Jingle Bell Day.
Oh,
when you have like 350 kids walking around with jingle bells, oh my gosh, it's chaos. Like you can only handle so much of that.
Yeah.
My favorite one it was Crazy Hair Day.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because some parents are
really dedicated.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I've seen straight cones that go up 3 feet.
Yeah.
For the young ladies with the long hair. Yeah. I've seen some amazing things and been like, how did this happen?
A lot of hairspray.
Lots of hairspray.
They brought back the
gosh, exactly. It's a fire hazard. It's a violation of school code. Anything that you're binge watching, listening to, you read?
I don't read.
Okay.
I don't have time to read. The patience or the focus. Binge watching. Oh man, my husband's a firefighter.
Yeah.
And they say, don't watch all the fire shows.
Yeah.
But I do. I can't stop. It's like a train wreck. Yeah. And I can't look away. And they're so bad.
Yeah.
Like even the best ones are so bad. I'm like, they would never do that. And then I can't watch him when he's home because he's like, he just sits there and huffs about, oh my God.
Yeah. Because they're inaccurate.
So inaccurate. So inaccurate. But I watch them.
Okay. I like it. You give me the best piece of advice. If you had a walk-up song, would you have a specific song? If you had a walk-up song, you walked into a board meeting.
This was not on the list.
No, it's not on the list. It's not on the list.
Oh my gosh, you really got me on this one. I listen to country.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
So
we'll go with your favorite. Yeah, what's your favorite music genre? It's
country for sure. This is super sappy, and I hate all the super sappy songs. But Garth Brooks' "The Dance" is probably one of the best.
All right.
Yeah, it's super sappy, but
that's okay.
It's good.
It's okay to be sappy. You gotta be hard all the time. You have to be hard. Kellie Ropers hard all the time. Yeah, all right, sappy is good. Now I'm gonna listen to it, and if I listen to it, I think it's sappy. I'm gonna shoot you a text message. I shouldn't have listened to that.
You pick something else.
I shouldn't have listened to that while I was alone. That was pretty sappy. No, this has been good. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Like you are fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I want to thank you for being courageous enough to be on the show with me. I know that your kids are going to love it. You are now going to be a YouTube celebrity.
I am a celebrity.
Yeah, you're going to be a celebrity, just like everybody else on Beach Parks Beyond the Bell podcast. They're all celebrities now. But more importantly, like, thank you for your dedication to the district.
Oh,
thank you for being an amazing parent for every administrator that you have kids at school at.
Thank you.
You have been a great parent to me, and I know that you were never a person that you were. You were always authentic.
Oh,
right. And that goes a long way. And I know that our administrators who get the opportunity to work with you also feel the same way. Thank you for being involved in the schools. Thank you for your service on the board. It is tireless to be a board member. And like, there's so much that goes on outside of just one meeting a month all the time.
There's a lot.
It's all the time.
But it's not as much as everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's a lot. I don't want to discredit that, but we have an open position. I'm going to put a
you do have?
Yes,
you do have an open position.
Someone should apply. You guys should apply. Parents, we want parents.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right.
But it's not as much time as you would think.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting it to be a lot more. And early on for me, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Helping out at the Early Childhood Center. But it's not as difficult as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
That's my plug.
That's a great plug. Where would someone go to apply for that?
The application is posted all over online. Our website, our Facebook pages have been sharing it, all the places.
Okay.
Go to the website, email me, I'll figure out how to get it to you.
This is perfect. All right. Well, excellent opportunity. So everyone else, though, thank you for being courageous enough to drive around in my truck while I ask you questions. But otherwise, anybody that's listening, all of our staff, thank you so much for the work that you do. We have one more week of school left. Today is May, 19th.
Yep.
So we're winding down, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that's watched the show and supported it. It's been so appreciated, and I'm glad that we've been able to have kind of an outlet to connect with one another and get to know amazing people like Mrs. Kellie Ropers, parent and board member and community member. It's been really awesome. So remember that you are someone else's person in the hallway and the people that you work with, and be there to support them, lift them up, and know that your work doesn't go unseen. We so appreciate everything that you do, from the administration to the Board of Education to the teachers and to our kids, who are the most important thing that we do, and are always facing forward, and we're always behind them, propping them up. If anybody is interested in becoming an employee at Beach Park School District, this show has been a great way for you to get a true picture of what it's like to work in our district from many different angles. So you can always go to www.bpd3.org, check out our employment page. We are so excited to have you become part of our family, and we would love for you to continue to consider us and tell your friends all about Beach Park, because it's amazing. And at that, I would love for you to like and subscribe to the channel. Anything for the good of the order, anything that we think we might have missed.
I think we've got everything covered.
Pretty awesome conversation.
It was a great conversation. Thanks for having me.
I know, man. This was great.
It was fun.
Thanks for hanging out with me. I guess at this point, then we'll just say goodbye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.